Hi, Abraham. You spoke a little bit about it earlier, but conditioned behavior, that what we've grown up with in terms of our reaction to life. I was leaving one of your workshops a while back, and 2 hours out on my way home, I was feeling like, God, I'm out of alignment. And through a discussion, found out that probably I wasn't. The next day, I was working in a garden, and I was down on the ground working with some plants and that, and then a couple feet away was a small tree and a squirrel at the bottom. And I stood up and said, "Oh, hi, squirrel, how you doing?" Said, "Fine." And he started climbing up the tree, and I was just stood up and watching, and next thing I know, he's crawling out on a branch or a limb right over my head. I could reach up and touch him. And as he got overhead, I looked down and thought, he's going to jump on my head. And he did. And I'm there and I'm saying, wow, this is amazing. And so I leaned down to let him jump off, and he jumps on my back. And then I'm saying, yeah, I'm in this, like, okay, I'm getting confirmation that maybe I'm not out of alignment today. I lean to one side, to low side, let him jump off. He doesn't jump off. He goes to the high side. I lean to the other side. He jumps to the high side again. I stand up. He jumps up my shoulder, up my head again. I'm thinking, well, I better give you a name because people are going to ask who you are. Well, I got confirmation that obviously I wasn't out of alignment the day after that workshop. But, we go to these, we listen to you, and we feel the energy that flows through us. We listen to your CDs, watch your DVDs, and while we're in the company of you and the surrounding energy, it's amazing. But we can go away, and we can sometimes so easily step out of that energy. And
maybe you can step out of it easily, but once you've hung around in it, you never step out of it without knowing you're out of it.
That's true. And yet...
Which means now you are in deliberate control of whether you're out or in, which makes you a rare human. Because now, as the previous question, you have choices. Now you have a conscious choice, which all hinges on how much you care about how you feel. That's really what the subject at hand really is about. When you talk about patterns of belief, what was the terminology you used?
Conditioned behavior.
Conditioned behavior is really about how willing you have allowed yourself to be. What is your endurance level? How much misalignment am I willing to endure? That really is the name of this deliberate creative game. Well, I'm willing to be ornery, and I'm willing to be overwhelmed, because that's not that big of a price to pay. I'm willing to be angry, but I'm not willing to be afraid. In other words, you all have your limits of how you, and we have very different, very much higher standards. We're not willing to endure any of that. That's why we don't come out of the vortex for you no matter what, you see. Mm-hmm. So it really comes down to how important is it to me to feel good. And so when you say, well, we come to these gatherings, and here's what we feel you feel when you're here. You just don't feel good. You feel valuable. You don't just feel good and valuable. You feel your worthiness. You feel your brilliance. Do you realize that we have had one of the most leading edge discussions that has ever happened in any environment ever, and you have been right up to speed with where we are. We're not out there ahead of you hoping to bridge you. You're right there. You know you are. You're feeling it. You're right there. You're getting it. That's alignment. That's brilliance. That's blendedness. That's being who you are, you see. That's who you are, and that's how you want to feel. That's how it is supposed to be for you. So you hang around, as you say, in an environment like this whether you're reading a book or listening to the recordings and we're not just saying that alignment only happens in this format when we are here. There are all kinds of inspirations that you rendezvous with that hold you there. As you practice those vibrations of alignment, then it becomes increasingly unlikely that you are willing to endure bigger dips. In other words, you're allowing the vortex to train you into the condition of alignment.
I sense that, and I know that's true. And there are some times when I become an ornery toad, and it seems to hang around longer than I would like it to. And digging out of that placement, digging out of that hole, seems to be difficult.
Well, all that means, but you see, you have a new tool now, and it's that specifically ornery. In other words, when you feel like you're in that hole and you're not letting yourself out, now after having contemplated what we've been talking about here so much, you'll realize that intensity, that specificness about it, it's what's holding you there. And law of attraction is sort of a partner in crime there, in the sense that law of attraction is going to give you another thought like the thought you're thinking. So when you get on one of those rolls, it's logical. It's logical by the laws of the universe that you would remain there. But here's what happens. You remain there until you reach your endurance level. You see what we're getting? In other words, this is wonderful. So let's say, as you said, that you've been listening to the recordings, you've been coming to these seminars, you've been participating in this high-minded, good-feeling vibration of alignment. And so now you've set a new set point for yourself about what you want. But then you get back into your world. You said 2 hours later, you're contemplating something and you're not feeling so good about something, and you find yourself no longer tuned in, tapped in, turned on. You're out of the vortex. So then you begin the negative thought process about whatever's happened. And you might even get a pretty good run on it going. What we want you to hear, and this is the new piece that we've never said before, this is the co-creative piece that you are giving to this leading edge work, right here, right now. As a result of the work that you did in the workshop, as a result of the work that you did as you were listening to the recordings,
I can't believe that. I am so sorry. What does that mean, Avery?
What it means is, whether you're ready to receive it now or not, we're going to leave a message.
Oh my God.
So here it is. Here it is. Seriously, we're right out here in this new place. So let's just take our time and get this together. So because of the time listening to the recordings, because of the time allowing the vortex to train your vibration upward. Now, as you're having this in this moment experience where you know you're out of the vortex, and law of attraction is feeding back to you things that reflect where you are. Your endurance level is now different because of the vortex work you've been doing. You follow that?
Yes.
You won't be willing to stay in that specific negative as long as you one time would have been, because the disparity between who you have allowed yourself to become through these frequent listenings and in other words, you've been training yourself upward. So the whole time that you're training yourself upward, your endurance level is becoming challenged, so to speak. And so you just reach this place where right in the middle of this negative contemplation, you say, enough of this, because this is high and calling you in a strong enough way that it will. You follow that? That's really, really, really a good thing. We've been saying to you that if you sort of want something, then sort of not having it sort of feels bad. If you really want it, then not having it feels really bad. And so this is another way of us saying to you, it can never go wrong for you, So stop beating up on yourself in those moments when you're not catching it, because it can never go so far knowing what you know that you can't bring it back into alignment.